Hey guys, a short video on explaining why you should hold W when b-hopping. I see a lot of YouTubers and even friends b-hopping and they tell me they don't want to hold W. That's probably also coming from previous Source games where you don't need to hold W, where you should avoid holding W. And I guess some people don't want to open their mind to the fact that Apex is a different game and has different S-strafe mechanics. I've played 3,000 hours of CS myself, so I get that. I understand you don't want to hold it, but it's a different game and has different mechanics. So first of all, you might already know that when you jump in Apex and press strafe key, it might push you to the edge, even if you don't move your mouse like this. I'm pressing A and D here, and it's just moving me side to side. So it's killing your front your forward speed. If you look on the top left corner of the video, you can see the velocity at the bottom. So this is full speed. And you can see I'm reaching 400 and more when slide jumping. But if I press strafe key, I'm gonna lose a bit of that speed. So it's just to demonstrate that strafing incorrectly during a b-hop can really kill your speed. And you might have seen that before, but sometimes you just press the wrong key at the wrong time and lose all your speed, like I just did here. I wasted a bunch of speed, and you know that happens, but sometimes you'll do it in fight and lose all your speed and die. So that's not good. Another thing is it's a lot more unforgiving not to hold W when b-hopping. So it's harder to maintain speed and easier to lose it. So for example, if I start at standstill and try to gain speed from standstill doing b-hops without W, it can be a lot harder unless you get a slide like I just did. But if you don't, it's tough. It takes a while, but you can do it. But if you're, for example, healing and standing still behind cover and you hear someone approaching and you want to try and start b-hopping away, maybe with Octane or something, it might be difficult to gain some speed from a standstill. You might panic or whatever. Whereas holding W just makes it way easier. This is holding W. And just overall, you're not gonna lose speed as often, because even if I press the wrong input, I'm pressing the wrong one. Like if I'm looking left and pressing right while holding W, I'm not gonna lose speed. See, this is what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna be b-hopping looking sideways, just like when I'm sprinting. So that's more for gaming like that. And a lot of people are telling me, yeah, but I don't want to hold W because I lose control. Well, that's fair, I guess, to some extent, because when you are doing a true air strafe, you don't want to hold W, that's for sure. But when you're b-hopping, it's a different story, and you can get the same control with W as long as you just move your mouse a little bit more. And yeah, so there's no real reason not to hold W, in my opinion. You're just gonna be faster overall. You won't reach a higher top speed, I don't think so, but you will definitely maintain your speed a lot better and start your b-hops more smoothly. So yeah, that's about it. So I just want to add one or two small things to what I just said. Some people will tell you to b-hop and switch directions every 2 or 3 jumps, and that makes sense to avoid bad strafe like I showed you earlier and waste your speed. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Because if you just do it like that, here, I just messed it up. You're probably gonna mess it up at some point, and you want to avoid that, obviously. Whereas if you hold W, like now, even if you press completely wrong inputs and look the wrong way and whatever, you're not gonna lose your speed like I showed you earlier. So this allows you to actually switch direction every jump and go in a straight line, which will be faster to reach a destination. If you're not in a fight, you should do that. In a fight, you might want to avoid doing that, because you will be an easier target if you go in a straight line. But still, anyways, holding W allows you to do that, so that's a plus as well. And one last thing is holding W is also one way to change the curvature of your strafes regarding where your aim is, which is good if you want to track an enemy while you're hopping, for example with a PK and a hipfire or something. I've seen Stormen do this in a clip. He killed 2 guys be hopping around him with a PK, which is really handy. And in this situation you might not want to hold W, you might want to depending on how much you want to turn and so on. But just knowing how to b-hop with W will allow you to have more control over your movements when b-hopping and tracking at targets. It's also easier to just chase the target, reload, and shoot at people while holding W, in my opinion. Might not want to hold the ADS though, because it's very awkward to use 3 fingers to do that if you're jumping with scroll wheel. But yeah, holding W is just better overall, I think. And I said that was the last thing, but I just thought of another thing. It's also easier to switch where you're looking at if you're holding W or S. When you're hopping backwards, for example, you're gonna look the opposite way of where you're strafing. If you're gonna switch direction suddenly and try to b-hop looking forward, then backwards, and so on, you are very likely to press the wrong input and kill all your speeds. Whereas if you hold W or S or whatever the front or the direction you're going in key is, it's going to allow you to keep all of your speed even if you mess up. So it's one more advantage to holding W. You can just keep going like this. It's just a lot smoother than not holding W. And yeah, that sums it up. Thanks guys for watching.